folks, we are live with Martial Powers Monday. Give me a moment here to check my signal. Make sure things are coming through okay. Make sure things are coming through. Sure sounds like it. Hit the refresh on that. Okay, great. So I am going to just take a moment here to, if you want to check down the description below, I am currently updating my Twitter, so if you want to follow me on that, you can get an idea of when I'm around. And I'm going to just punch hello through the Discord servers that I hang out at. And while I do that, it would be wonderful if you'd be able to like and subscribe to keep updated on when I am active, as well as down below. There is a link to DMsGuild. It's a bundle of different books that I've created in the past that are going through some fun upgrades right now, and we're going to see some changes coming through to those in the next couple weeks. And then in the new year, there's going to be a major editing layout overhaul and some new artwork coming in. But I got all these other projects that I'm working on currently to get off the ground before then. So you can check out the DMsGuild. They're all 100% preview. You can read the entire thing without buying anything. If you like how they read, you are most welcome to pick them up. In addition, there's a link there to the Patreon, which doesn't cost anything for you to look at. There's playtest content for the Martial Powers, which is the document that we're working on today. You can see here the YouTube stream. That's where we're literally at right now. Hey, guys. And then here is the actual Google Doc. You can see open playtest content for Martial Powers playtest content, which is what we'll be uploading to once we're content with the changes. Like we uploaded the Barbarian, the Fighter, the Rogue. We've got upcoming changes for Monk variants. We also did the Paladin channeling, as well as all the Ranger updates there as well. And we had recently added in Artificer infusions. And today we are going to be integrating the Warlock into content. So give me a moment here to see where did that little cat run off to? Artificer, empowered weapons, so the stuff we've seen there. Don't know why I don't see the Warlock. Maybe I have it down here. And the playtest doc. Meow meow. We'll go ahead and, here's all this stuff that we've been playing with. And Warlock variants, here we come. Coming soon. Copy. Then go back here to our general document for us to be able to look at stuff. Okay, great. So once this thing is up and active, if you're familiar with my work, and again, the DMsGuild link down below shows you stuff that I've put out before. And get that out of the way. Here specifically is one of the products that's available. It is pay what you want. You don't have to pay anything for it. But beyond that, the entire document is full preview. If you check down here, you can see that there's it's a 10-page doc, and then the full preview here is also a 10-page doc. So you get the whole thing. Certainly be welcome to support. It's Electrum bestseller currently, so apparently folks are digging it. I've seen some people take swipes at doing spell point variant rules for Sorcerer, for Warlock in the past, but it's never really been properly fleshed out. There's a huge gap in the DMG. So if you want to calibrate your spell points to coincide with the scaling that the DMG has, we got you covered here. You can see starting with 2 spell points for a first level spell as a short rest that scales up to eventually 28 spell points for 5 times for 4 5th level spells. 5th level spells cost 7 apiece. 4th, what is that? 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. So let's see. You got your spell point progression there, and then you've got how much it costs for like high magics, like 9 for 6th, and then 10 for 7th level spell. So you can see like when you get 7th level spell, 6th level spell, and 7th level spell is 9 plus 10 is 19, and then plus 11 is 30. So you can see it scaling up through there, and you can see the spell point progression as per the DMG. So 7 points for a 5th level spell, and you can see that 5th level spell is 28 points. 4 times 5, 4 times 7 is 28. There you go. So that's how that works. But for the Martial Powers project, the integration, it's using the universal spell points. If you are familiar with our work already, you know that there is the universal spell points, which is also 100% free preview to look at, and it's gotten quite a bit of traction, as well as a more simplified spell point system that has the same amount of spells available, basically the same calibration as the DMG uses, just in a simpler build model. So you can see the it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4. Like a 9th level spell costs 9 points. A 2nd level spell costs 2 points. 1st level spell costs 1 point. So this is a general format that we have, and the spell point Warlocks uses that same formatting system. Using the universal spell point system in general, you can just thumb through and read the whole thing on your own. But we had to recalibrate like Eldritch Smite, the amount of spell points that they have available at any given time. Like 5th level spell costs 5 points, so eventually scales up to 5. So the thing about Warlocks is that eventually you get 4 spell slots that are automatically cast at 5th level. So why would you take a 2nd level spell that doesn't scale? It's a waste of resources. But if you have spell points integrated into the system, then you have a ton more flexibility available to you for what kind of spells you want to cast, so that you have a lot more flexibility. But then it starts causing problems with Eldritch Smite. It's okay as it sits. It's just the Eldritch Smite, like at 3rd level, it's going to be 2nd level spell slots, so it's going to be doing like 2d8 plus 3d8 damage on hits, and that's honestly that's too much damage for spell slots in general. And there's a real deep dive into the study of how the spell points and like smites play out here on the last page of the universal spell point system, to give you an idea of where we're coming from and how we feel that we need to reduce the amount of damage per spell point that smite is able to dish out, because you have so much flexibility of being able to do, 21st level smites is going to be a ton more damage than 4 5th level smites is, because of the stacking d8s that you gain when you cast them. So that needs to be taken into account to keep the game in balance, which we have done the math for. But since all that stuff already exists inside of USP and in the spell point Warlock, is really easy for us to be able to pull in the Warlock variant to update what Warlocks have access to through replacing the Eldritch Smite by using the channeling strike powers that we have here in the Martial Powers book. So I'm going to swing down here into the list of martial powers, and let's go down through the maneuvers, through reactions, into strikes. So we've got, looks like 30 some odd strikes that start at first with first rank, which costs 1 spell point. Second rank, 2 spell points. Third rank, 3 spell points. Fourth rank, 4 spell points. And that's and generally speaking, that's how much we max out martial powers, to go from level 1 from 1st to 4th rank, which characters in general can get access to between 2nd and 14th level, leaving the back end of the campaign 18th level plus, to give you just it upscales to 5 ranks at 18th level. So even though your power only can max out at 4th, most of these things, like for example, if you've stuck around with us for a lot of these sessions and you look at the backlog and the playlist down below, you know that like if you choose freezing power, you can deal 1 cold damage and add 1 power die per mana burned to deal additional cold damage, and as a kicker, movement is halved until the end of your next turn. So if you're 18th level, even though all these powers are capping at 4th level, like even down here it says damage increases by 1 power die per mana burned. So the creature must make a charisma saving throw or be banished and incapacitated. So even though this is a 4th rank power at 14th level, when you get to 18th level, you have access to 5th rank powers. So you would be able to, even though this caps at 4th, you'd be able to upcast this to 5 mana to do 5d. At that level, it would be a d10. So it would be 5d10 plus this banishing feature, or 5d10 plus this paralyzing strike. So the whole thing is calibrated off of what level are you is how many dice you can put into damage. Very similar, identical in fact, to how we scale smites with the universal spell points. And so we're integrating this feature instead of just being a generic Eldritch Smite for a Warlock. We're granting them access to martial strikes by spending invocations. So let's look at the Warlock. Going down here, invocations. So at second level, you gain access to invocations, but you don't get Eldritch. You don't get a Pact Boon until third level. So what that tells us, and you can change your invocations as you gain levels. So the quick skinny on this, I'm gonna pull this down to here so you have that on tap. Go back to here. Warlock variants. Invocation. Pact of the Blade. Actually, let's go specifically to beep, 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 beep. So we don't get packed. So let's go down to what we actually want to look at, which is Eldritch Smite. Eldritch Smite, prereq, 5th level, Pact of the Blade feature. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with your packed weapon, you can expend a Warlock spell slot to deal an extra D8 force damage to the target, plus another D8 per spell slot, and you can knock the target prone if it's huge or smaller. So, instead, what we're doing is Invocation, Eldritch Smite. Third level, Pact of the Blade. Eldritch Strike. Replaces 5th level Eldritch Smite. Okay, so loose language. Third rank. When you take Pact of the, when you choose Pact of the Blade, when you choose Pact of the Blade, is that how it gets worded? Let's go back and look at the wording. Boons. Pact magic. Boon, boon, boon. Boon, 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 boon. Blah 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 blah. Pact Moon. At third level, you're the worldly patron, bestowed Pact of the Blade. There we go. Cool. Okay, great. When you choose Pact of the Blade as your at third level, you gain access to the list of martial strikes to choose. When you choose Pact of the Blade at third level, you can choose to learn martial. You can choose to learn strike powers as invocations. Period. The level, your level of Warlock, your Warlock level, that's the word I'm supposed to be using. Your Warlock level determines the maximum rank you can learn as an invocation, as listed on the chart below. Warlock level max rank. 3, 6, 10, 14, 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next rank. Power. Die. D6. 6. 8. 8. D10. You can learn multiple strike powers. Each requires for each invocation spent this way. You can choose how I want to word this. You can learn multiple strike powers. Each requires a separate invocation. One invocation each. That's pretty straightforward. I'm going to. That's pretty quick and skinny, ain't it? So pretty easy to do. So that is like, for example, I mean, just to make it straightforward, you get you get up to 8 invocations, and you've got a truck ton of powers to spend them on. At 3rd level, you can choose any of these. Then at 6th level, you can choose any of these or less. At 10th level, you can choose any of these or less. And then at 14th level, you can choose any of these. And then at 18th level, you can power all the way up to 5th rank. But again, these are limited to 4th, and then it would just be a kicker feature. So you can get 8 of these. There's plenty for you to take from. And that's pretty straightforward. So let me see. That is the one that is the most intuitive, I guess, low hanging fruit to integrate the Warlock. I do not want the Warlock to be able to just use spells to swap out spells for powers specifically. It has, just like with the Artificer, Artificer has the infusion budget for them to create magic items that then let them use to use martial powers, as we discussed last week, 2 weeks ago. And then again here we're seeing limited access for the Warlock. Since they only have 8 invocations, they can choose to invest as many of those into strike powers as they choose. But what about, is there anything? But before I decide I'm done with this, because this could just be a very short session today, we'll see. Pact magic, cantrips, spell slots. Let's see if there's any other pacts here that are just jumping out at us. Let's see. There's Pact of the Blade, which we have for strikes. And there's Pact of the Chain. You learn to find familiar spell and cast it. When you cast the spell, you can choose one of the normal forms of familiars. Additionally, when you take the attack action, you can forego one of your own attacks to allow your familiar to make one attack with its reaction. Pact of the Chain. Man, oh man, how to do? I think what we need to do is DMsGuild, and then let's go to packs and patrons of Ravnica. And then this is another book that I created. It's doing pretty well. It's part of a new bundle. If you come down here and check it out, there's a new bundle of various different. There's just general archetypes of Ravnica. There's artificers of Ravnica specifically. There's clerics of Ravnica specifically, and then there's the book that we created, Packs and Patrons. These are all available together in a pretty huge discount, 50% off, to get this and all the other pieces with it. And these are all different authors. This is mine, and of course, my work is always 100% preview. And we're coming over here to Boros Legion. It has 10 different otherworldly patrons, one for each patron. So I'm just scrolling down here through the 10 different patrons. This is all artwork that I produced. I'll produce similar artwork for the book that we're looking at here once it comes back from layouts for us to proceed with. Orzhov Syndicate, and Rakdos, Lesnia, Simic. And then, okay, great, pack boons. Pack of the Cauldron. We have 5 new packs that we have in here, one for each color. Cauldrons, and we have Pack of the Cloak, Pack of the Fang, Pack of the Lantern, and Pack of the Shield. And then we have a ton of new invocations here. Extra pack boon. This is specifically what I wanted today. Invocations. Let's go. This is my own book, so I can steal this if I want. Invocation, Eldritch Strike. Invocation. Extra pact boon. Prerequisite. 3rd level. You exchange 1 invocation to gain 1 additional pack boon. You can take this invocation multiple times. Each time you do, choose a new pact. Each time exchanging 1 invocation for a pact boon. Each time you do, each time exchanging an invocation for an additional pact boon. Period. You take. I need to screenshot this real quick and make it easier for me to grab it. I could just pull up the Word document and just do it directly, but I, for some reason, want to do it this way. Who knows why? I'm gonna go back here, drop this back into the document, and then come back here, and then here is when you take when you take pack boon. If you exchange a pack boon for an invocation, if you learn, you can subsequently learn additional invocations with any pact you've learned. Period. If you choose to replace a pact boon with a new invocation, You can also replace any other invocations known with any other invocations with the chosen pact as a prerequisite to replace with new invocations you as well. You must also, oh, I should turn on my timer. Keep track of my clock. Start. Great. Okay, so invocation, extra pact boon. You can gain extra pacts. Invocation, Eldritch Smite, Strike, and then let's look at. We got that taken care of. Let's see. There's Pact of the Chain, there's Pact of the Tome. Patron gives you a grimoire called a Book of Shadows. When you gain this feature, choose 3 cantrips from any class of spell lists. While the book is in your person, you can cast 3 cantrips. Book of Shadows. Not so much. Pact of the Chain. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm content with Invocations of the Strike being the only invocation currently that grants access to martial powers. The Invocation of Extra Pact Boon allows anybody to be able to gain access to it, so you can choose an invocation. You can choose that as your base pact, or you can choose to spend an invocation to learn the Pact of the Blade if you want, which then also gives you access to Eldritch Strike. So anyone has access to this, utilizing this system, so it stays fair and balanced. So let's see, Warlock Invocations. What language did I have up here for Artificer? Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Artificer features. That's the way to do it. What do we have? Don't choose. However, they can infuse items with martial powers that they learn. Infuse items replicating power. Let's go with. Using Artificer with martial powers. The class can, instead of spell slots, you can choose the spell point progression provided in universal spell points. available to view. Which is available under, what does it say? That's preview. Which is available for full preview at DMsGuild here. The reason why I make everything 100% preview is because I can do things like this. So you can go to the document, see the full preview, look at the entire thing. Page 2. Page 1 and 2. This is available for preview at DMsGuild here. And then I can come down here to Warlock. Class features. And then we'll go here. Spell point variant rules. I'll be able to go here. Drop that off here. Here for preview. Go back in that document here. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, thanks a lot. Let's see. It's going to be page again. It's having the whole thing available for people to view is makes it super easy to be able to reference all this stuff to each other. I love having that available so that people can look at the other work, like have all the different things that I build be able to fold into each other. So that makes me really happy to be able to provide that for people to take a look at. This is page 6, page 7. On page, there we go, page 6 and 7. 6, 7. I could probably do these fonts. I could probably do those number fonts better. Page 6 and 7. Page 6 and 7. Where's my mouse? 6 and 7 in spell point warlocks. Page 6 and 7, which we have here, bloop, bloop. Edit. Here. Apply. Did I apply? Success. If using Warlock, spell points, spell slots, you can choose the spell point progression provided in spell point warlocks, page 6 and 7, which is available for full preview at DMsGuild here. Done. Using artificers, instead of, you can choose spell point progression providing universal spell points, place here. Cool. Then artificers don't channel powers, warlocks. Warlocks can learn strike powers if they have chosen the pact of the Blade feature. Warlocks can learn strike powers if they have chosen the Pact of Blade feature. Below are new invocation options to below are new invocation options for using Pact of the Blade with strike powers. Period. Invocations, extra Pact boon. And like I was saying, Pact boon, extra Pact boons. The Pacts and Patrons book that we have has the 5 new packs. I think Pact of the Shield would work great with this. Maybe as reacts. Maybe Pact of the Blade is Pact of the Shield is reactions, but I'm not going to make that core. It's too niche to say, go check out Pacts and Patrons for additional invocations or for additional packs that can choose with your invocations. And then out of that subset, I think this is probably like variant rule inside of variant rule enough as it is. So, but it's pretty straightforward. So that was that's pretty damn straightforward. So let's grab this Artificer variant and this Warlock variant. Copy that, and then let's go into the playtest document we've been using. Go back up here. Powers. There we go. Warlock variant. And we'll go ahead and just drop this into the playtest document. Do that again, but different. There we go. Black variant. While full casting classes don't have access to can't learn or prepare martial powers, the Artificer and Warlock have access to a limited number of powers. Through invocations, through infusions, and invocations, as detailed below. Artificer variant. Warlock variant. Free space. And then martial powers. It's debatable. I might put variant spell. See, what I want to do, the way I want to build this thing out, is you got your base stuff, your intro. You got your cover page, your TOA, your credits, basic premise, power chart. Describing magic paradigms. Actually, magic paradigms can come later. So you have the basic mechanics, the progression table, basic bloody blah, and then we can drop the magic paradigms to the back of the book in the martial power campaigns. So then we'd have just a general bloody blah, this is how the thing works. And then we have the class options, the subclass options, and then we have the half casting hybrid options for the paladin and how to modify paladin oaths, the class features, and we have the ranger, the alternate ranger class features, and then the conclaves. And then after that, I think the proper way to probably do this is to then go down into actual martial powers, describing each of the disciplines of power, how they get in, how to channel, and then go into the actual list of powers that can be channeled. And then at the end of all the channeled powers, that I think is probably where we would then offer variant spellcasters and probably have the Warlock listed first, and then the Artificer, and then after the Artificer, I could have a section specifically on power gear or just magic items in general that use martial powers. So it goes core class stuff, powers, list of powers, spellcasting variants, the Warlock, and then the Artificer, and then magic items, curving off of what the Artificer does. That seems to be a pretty natural progression. And then from the Artificer, the magic items, into martial power campaigns, where we'll talk about NPCs and creatures, lair actions, how to, and then magic paradigms. And then after magic paradigms, have specific, I think we do some samples, like maybe 5 different character samples of different classes and different and different discipline uses that they would have, like have a power rogue that uses nothing but, like, say, exploits and maneuvers, and then have like a strike paladin that is only using the martial strikes power feature, have maybe like a ranger that's using exploits, maneuvers, and strikes, things like that. Just like a different mix of stuff. Just to show some examples of how you can mix things up using using the color mana paradigm, using the elemental paradigm, and maybe using like an off-brand, like maybe a generic key sort of paradigm, so you can see how you can use the different paradigms together. And then that would be, and then the advertising page. So we're currently sitting at, where are we at? We're sitting at 27 pages currently inside the document. So that probably means this thing's going to end up fleshing out to being like probably around 40 pages, which probably means I could put it out for like $8 and then discount it down to $6 as part of a bundle. It sounds pretty damn reasonable to me. So I think that's where we're at. And let's check my timer here. Yeah, okay. So, hey, I think that's all I needed to do today. So I'm pretty pleased with the progress. I'm glad how this thing's coming along. Yeah, let's check our list of do's. What are we gonna do? I'm just gonna call it quits here. That's it for the day. So let's see. We've got Artificer subclasses. Oh yeah, we'll need to. So we got the Warlock Power Invocations resolved. That means next week we're going to look at. We're going to clean up Artificer subclasses, just to make sure there's no low-hanging fruit that we've missed, so we can add all those in as necessary. Yeah, I think that feels right. So yeah, we'll do Artificer subclasses next week. Just to see what's there. I suspect what we'll be able to do is do some tie-ins as to like the armor, for instance. While you have the armor, you can use infusions to build your martial power infusions into your battler armor or whatever, for example, or like the battlesmith, the devoted defender. You'd be able to use infusions to infuse different martial powers into your defender. Or the artillerist use infusions to infuse your turrets with different martial powers. That stuff all seems to make sense to me, and I think it's a really fun use. So that's what we're going to do next week, and that will curve into the power gear that we'll build. So I suspect that's what we're going to be doing for the next week, maybe 2 if necessary. And then from there, we'll look at tank and psionic powers that we had developed with Hornetico maybe like 6 weeks ago now at this point. We're going to go ahead and integrate those more thoroughly into the playtest document to flesh out the number of powers that we have in total. And then we'll have, and then we'll clean up the language on the Ranger Conclaves. And then from there, we'll have examples of rebuilding Barbarian, Paladin, and Rogue subclasses. And then we'll look at DM use of martial powers. And then we'll have power paradigms. Go. Paradigms of power. There, that's done. So this is our chart of things to do. Once we get done with these items, we'll probably be like done with the front end of the document, and at that point we will pull it out of playtest content, send off to our editor to do cleanup, and then we can come back around, put it into layouts, and then start developing artwork and get this thing punched out. So I don't mind this very slow burn. I've got the In Command project that is damn near done. I think we're gonna be doing playtesting on this starting on the 30th using Infernal War Machines at 5th level, and then I think on the 6th we're going to upscale to 9th level with capturing, repairing, and using the fallen airship. And then 13, I think we're going to do playtesting at level 12 against Zariel in her flying fortress with her troops at a 500-foot scale battle. And then the 20th, I think we'll be doing Siege on the Scab and releasing the Unchaining El Terrell. I think that's going to be the course that we're going to do. And then by the end of that, we should probably have a final document done at the end of August that we'll then also be able to hand off. So it looks like in September, I've got both martial powers and In Command going into final text and edits. And there's also the 8th level Eberron Adventure Crystals of Mabar that I've been building with Andy and Stuart Braz. That just went through its last playtest last week, and that turned out freaking great. So once Andy and I get done with the first in edits, and that goes into that'll be going into edits and feedback as well from Stuart, presumably at the end of August as well. So it looks like this Martial Powers project is probably going to end up going off to edits at the end of October. That's what I'm anticipating, end of October at this point, and then get that back probably by December. And both the Martial Powers and In Command project, I suspect, is going to go off to editing in September as well, which means we're going to have a shitload of layouts to work on, as well as artwork at that point. So most of my stream time as of Q3, probably October, maybe as early as September, October, November, December, we're going to be doing a lot of artwork, a lot of page layouts, a lot of design work to get the thing ready, and I'll be streaming all that, as well as once we get the page layouts taken care of, we'll then be doing page extraction into Photoshop. We'll build out all the artwork for all the interior stuff, and I have no idea how long all that's going to take. It's got asset production for dropping into a folder for like VTT use. It'll be a while, but when we do that, we'll have the final page layouts. As I'm doing artwork, I'll just be able to sit here and shoot the shit with y'all and paint up stuff, build maps as I need to, build token icons as necessary. That could take a few months for us to do, and I'm really excited. I am super excited. With any luck, all this stuff is going to be done in Q1. And then I'll be able to come back through and work on this project specifically. I've got some major revisions and rebalancing for the core mechanics. Spell Warlock sits pretty good on its own. USP is sitting nicely already, but I also want to revise the Knights and Tricksters, as well as the Elemental Keybook that I come out with. It's just, as time has gone on, my design aesthetics have, I would like to say, improved. My sense of balance and scaling, how far I can push the envelope beyond normal 5e mechanics into this Magic the Gathering color mana space. I've learned a lot in the past 3 years of running it, and there are some balance issues that I want to resolve. So luckily, these are all just PDFs that have never been printed. Making the changes is as easy as just putting in the time and then republishing the PDF. So we're going to see some of this rebalancing coming out probably as soon as next week or so, just into this original document. But I'm going to do a complete overhaul, changing the layout. I want to go away from the portfolio style into landscape, so you can see a lot more stuff at a glance just on your browser without having to do any weird scrolling. To make it super user-friendly to be able to go through that stuff. And then once Martial Powers is out and the core mechanics for 5-color mana is recalibrated, I'll then be able to go in and do deep dive stuff like the Spell Point Sorcerer, probably by mid-year next year. Get a separate piece for Spell Point Artificers out, as well as start building more couture stuff like a Boros Reckoner as a subclass. I can start building that out. All the different subclasses for the monk traditions I can build out into separate half-casters that do a blend of spell casting as well as martial power preferences to have a quick list of 60 options that they can choose from. So I can really just start building out stuff and then just start dropping that stuff probably onto my Patreon for folks to grab. A lot of new artwork coming up. And yeah, so I got a lot of stuff that's going to be coming in production. I'm really looking forward to next year and getting these things curved out for the rest of this year into that. So that's anyway, that's where I'm heading. That's all I think I got for the day. Like, subscribe, grab onto my Patreon for all the freebies. Follow me on Twitter, and pick up my books. They're going to be improved and upgraded, and they're always 100% previews. So all this stuff that I've been building with you guys on stream, once it's finished and finalized, it'll be there for you guys to grab, or with big sample. All these things are all 100% preview. They got the big sample flag on them, but they're there for you to verify that you like the work and that you're willing to pay for it. And as I continue improving these books, hopefully it'll just be that much easier for you guys to invest with me, to encourage me to do this stuff. So we'll see where we go from there, but I really appreciate you. So see you on the other side, guys. I think Wednesday and Thursday I'll have opportunities to do stuff. We'll see how it comes along. So I'll catch you guys then. By sure, we'll be here on Friday to finish up the Infernal War Machine conversion, and that's coming along really well. So stick around. See you soon.